Hello, everyone. My name is Zeljko, and today we will talk about new product launch and marketing stuff in general. So the purpose of this my lecture or presentation is to show you how you can, as a startup company, as someone who just started, launch a new product or service, or basically push something that you have, maybe a service, as I said, maybe a product, to the market, and how you can seek help from media, from the community, and just get that awareness that you have. So let's start. Today, we'll go to some basics, crossing the chasm. Then we will go through use cases. I prepared 3 use cases that I worked, include MemGraph and Based-On. Those 3 are startup companies. Also some tips and tricks, and basically there is no here discussion, but you can always drop me an email or tweet me or just add me on LinkedIn. There will be at the end of the presentation my contact details. So let's start. First, I would recommend you to take your time and read these 3 books. For me, they're, I would say, the most important books if you're starting with the startups and also entering into the startup marketing, and you know, basically it will help you to have a good based on about everything. So this is Marketing from Seth Godin. Is relatively old book, but it will give you that grounds on how marketing is done today. The Lean Startup is methodology that became very popular a few years ago, and I think it's really important because it talks about how to develop a product or a service for the market. So the market helps you develop the product, not the vice versa, where you have presumptions that maybe market will need something and then spend years and years developing and spend, you know, a lot of money, and then you figure it out that, you know, market doesn't like it, don't want it, or doesn't need it. And also traction, how startup can achieve explosive customer growth. It's really good book because it shows you a lot of examples of how to get traction. Why I'm talking about traction and why I'm talking about everything here is because traction, awareness, it helps you raise more funds, raise more money for the company. So I'm talking about the startups who are not yet at the break even. They're not yet financially stable, or they're not yet selling as much as they would. So they're still depending on the investments, and basically they seek investments. First, how marketing is looked today. Another book, Crossing the Chasm. And here you can see, I hope you can see my pointer here. So this is how marketing looks like today for every startup, for every new company. You have an early market where you have tech enthusiasts, then you have this chasm, and then you have mainstream market. All the companies that you know and you're familiar with, like Apple Computers, like Tesla, like Uber, like any other company, you know, IBM, HP, and others, they're in mainstream market. But when you start, you are in early market. Early market means that you have to find innovators and early adopters. Everything about marketing is psychology and sociology. So early adopters and innovators are much more different users or buyers than late majority. Late majority or laggards, or, you know, we call them conservatives and pragmatics. Those kind of users are not eager to try something new, not eager to, you know, try a new service, try a new product. They don't want to experiment. So these kind of personas, as we call in marketing personas, are not for you. But innovators and early adopters, people who are, you know, supporting companies on crowdfunding campaigns, buying new, subscribing for new beta software, trying something new, they are the people who you target. No matter what are you doing on the market, maybe some new service, something new, everything which is coming as a new, target the tech enthusiasts, or I would say early adopters. And the chasm is really something that a lot of startup companies need to jump, need to overcome. And it's really tough. There is no silver bullet in that. There is no unique thing that you can do. It depends on everything, on the market. It depends on the territories, on the countries where you are and things like that. But to even get to that chasm, there's a lot of work. So one of the things that I like to show an example for me is Tesla. So Tesla did something that a lot of startup companies do, and I'm just giving you an example so you can broaden your mindset or how you think on marketing. Don't be in the boxes. So Tesla is a car manufacturer, and if you go back, car manufacturers are selling to pragmatists and conservatives and basically skeptics. So the car industry is very old industry. It's about 100 years old. Cars are relatively old. So they're not trying to, the car is also investment. It's not cheap. So it's really hard to ask people, early adopters, give me 500,000 something just to try new technology, because it is expensive. And you cannot do that with late majority market, with the mainstream market. So what Tesla did was something that they didn't invent. They just took from other industry. You can do that. You can use strategies and tactics from other industries and adopt them to your industry. Try to, use the best of it. Tesla had, with Model 3 in 2016, Tesla made the pre-orders. So pre-orders were invented by software industry, mainly by gaming industry. You could pre-order a new Counter-Strike game, a new Call of Duty game. You could pre-order it, which means that the software company gets some money for the advertising of the ad. So for the advertising of the game. So if you, for example, if you give 30 euros for the new Call of Duty pre-order and you wait and the game will be released, I don't know, in September, October, November, who knows when, then the company aggregates a lot of money from the market, which shows them two things. First, they have X amount of people who are already willing to try the game, to play it, and why they get money for marketing. So Tesla did that for car industry, a new thing. You can pre-order a car, because before that, and well, for all other car manufacturers, even today, how they build a car? They build car on estimation of the market. It's really expensive, to build a car, to manufacture a car, and then that car doesn't be sold. It just waits in the warehouse. That's expensive. So Tesla did two things with pre-order. First, they had, as you can see, almost 400,000 pre-orders. So they have an estimate how many people are willing to pay and buy the car. For this is 400,000 people. They get some money. It was, I think, pre-order was about 1,000 euros or $1,000 or 1,000 pounds. It depends where do you live. So they get approximately 400,000 euros, dollars, pounds, or who knows what. But that number also helped Elon Musk to show to the investors, and hey, we have a lot of people waiting for the car, and we need more money to build the car. So pre-order helps Elon to have a leverage on investors, because investors will give you money, will invest in you if they see a potential. If you say, I have 1,000 people waiting for my product, I show them what I have a prototype, I show them what will I provide them, but I need money to develop it, but I have 1,000 people who are willing to pay, they'll pre-order it, then they will finance you. It will be much easier. And this is something that Tesla did in 2016, and it is remarkable because they used the tactic from the software industry and apply it on the car industry. Sadly, in 2022, still car industry is not doing pre-orders. Only high-end cars are doing that, but they're high-end cars, so they're in different market. But this one was for everyone, and it was much better to, with that, they crossed this chasm, because early adopters already drove Tesla's Model S, Tesla's Roadster, and Tesla Model X, and then it was Tesla Model 3, which was focused on mainstream market, and they crossed this chasm with the pre-order, because now the pragmatics and conservatives, early and late majority, said, well, it's €1,000, I can pre-order a car. If I change my mind, they will give my money back. But if not, I will get the car and I want to try it because there is a lot of people who are waiting for it. So it was a good thing to cross the chasm. Second thing, that this is our example, my example when I worked, was public relations or media relations is really important in startup life, because you don't have funds, you don't have money for big marketing budgets. So you cannot get a lot of media space, a lot of advertising space as you should, because you don't have money. So you can do a good presence on social media, you can do proactive communications, and you will pick up by media. This is an example with Croatian startup which was successfully sold, Farmeron. It was software as service it was analytical software for managing farms, mainly milk production with cows farms. And they got a good coverage on CNN Money, which is great because it's really difficult to get this kind of coverage. But CNN Money is also read by investors, read by other market. And the sole coverage was secured only by Twitter, only by the presence of Farmeron that we did. And the tech writer from CNN Money was covering the new story, and they wanted to chat with us. So the Twitter presence, which is great, and we followed a lot of journalists, help us secure a good media coverage on CNN Money. No money at all. So it was not an investment of any kind of advertising budget. Now I will talk about Brexit with Include company. So Include is a Croatian company that makes smart city solutions. Mainly it is recognized by the smart benches, that solar smart benches, which are self-sustainable. And the goal for this campaign was to inform the general public about opening an office in London. And also the company was nominated for 2020 Smart Cities UK Award. So this was a goal, to inform. Tactic was make a media release and also distribute that media release to journalists and other key stakeholders. But the tactic was different. As it was 2020 and 31st of January 2020 was a Brexit day, the formal day when UK is leaving the European Union. And we thought about how we can use that as a young Croatian company that is also opening an office in London. So we contacted UK Embassy in Croatia, and we told them that we are announcing that we are opening an office in London and we are spreading to London. So let's team up, because we knew that UK embassy was a different goal. They had a different goal. With the Brexit, they wanted to calm the public down, to say that UK is leaving the EU, but UK is still present. So we found that we aligned our goals together. This is something that you can use in communication. In communications, it's really useful to find another person, another company, and align your goals with them. Because if you find someone, team up with someone even larger, then they can help you spread your message around. So first thing was to establish exclusive media. So it is often good to have a journalist who will, you will give him a heads up because he needs a good story. And we chose one of the largest Croatian media. They had a head start with the news. Then we sent the press release to other media, and also a lot of coverages was secured in Croatian and the UK media. Also, it was great to see that British Embassy gave us support, gave us support through their channels, which gives us a credibility. There was followed-up interview on television with the CEO of the company, and also there was a great follow-up interview in one of the Croatia's largest media, print media. So overall, there was about 15 media coverage in Croatia, 5 media coverage in the UK, interview on the television, follow-up interview in print media. So it was great for the company's reputation, and basically the goal was achieved. So the general public found that companies opening a new office in London, and also it was nominated for the award. So this is the example where you can use media and communication campaign for the market to find out about you. And you always think, if you know, is it your product or service newsworthy? Well, you can always put it in the context. You can always put it in the context of something that is happening. And here, in example, Brexit was happening, and we put everything in the context. So we just timed the release of opening an office in London. This is an example where we move this. Yeah, this is an example where we have a new product launch. So in 2020, as you already know, it was really difficult and challenging year. We didn't know should we use offline product event or online. So we chose an online cloned event that was filmed and then put it on a live YouTube video. But before the event, we also contact a lot of journalists and give them the just heads up on what is happening and what are we launching. And it was great that we got the coverage from Mashable. They covered our story, and they covered the product launch. So when you have a product launch, first think about how to technically how to do it offline. It was much more expensive, and even with the COVID measures, it can be also very badly visited. So you can always do it online like this, or even shoot everything before, and then just have a premiere video and invite everyone to watch it. So this is the example of the press release that I sent to journalists, and you can see it is good to send one-on-one emails. So you can always introduce yourself to the journalist who is covering, for example, technology. And you say, hi, my name is X. I'm working on this, and soon we will have something to release. We will appreciate your support. I will send you more details in the email. You can always maintain this kind of relationship. The second example is a Memgraph event that was last year. So also the company did product launch, which was held online. Here is an example where we used a lot of marketing. Well, not a lot of marketing, but some marketing budget was spent to get awareness that something is launched. This is an example of invitation. So you can see it's really easy to film a short invitation video. All you need is a good internet connection, webcam, or even integrated cam on your notebook, and that's it. You know, short invitation. Why 15 of 20 seconds? Because then you can advertise this kind of video on YouTube. And on YouTube, it's really cheap to advertise, to raise awareness. And you can also, for instance, you can easily target audience by their interests. So, for example, if your product has many competitors, you can find people on YouTube who are following or subscribed to those competitors, and you can show them your message. So get awareness for the people who are already familiar with, with your industry and with things they're doing. So it's really easy to find the right people, but it's also more important is that you focus on the territories and on the countries that you have to, that is much easier to achieve for you. So there is no language barrier, so there is no time zone barrier, because it's really difficult to target, for instance, US, because US market is large, it's divided by time zones, there are different time zones, so it's really difficult to be in the right moment. So if you're launching something from Europe and you're speaking English, then maybe it's good to target the UK, the Ireland, but even other European centers where people are talking in English. So this was a video that was pre-recorded, and it was a launch event. I will just show you briefly, but you can always Google it. So you can see launch event was recorded better. It was pre-recorded and then pushed away. And I didn't just say, but you can see from the media release from VentureBeat, Memgraph is a graph database company that was that raised almost $10 million from Microsoft M12 and other funds. So this was the news. The news was that the company is releasing a new version of software, and also they achieve investment round. everything was supported by social media. Everything was supported by Twitter, by Facebook, and you can see a lot of people was reached. We used Facebook advertising, so it was really easy to reach those people. You know? And there was a lot of media coverage, from international media to Croatian media, or I would say regional media. Regarding advertising, as I said, Facebook ads, there was Twitter communication and YouTube ads. And you can see on this kind of example for the Mangrove event invitation, you can get 4,000 views for about £100. So as I said, YouTube can be really cheap by it, and it can raise that awareness, and you can definitely use it as a good channel to just draw attention to yourself or the product and what are you doing. What is also great and relatively cheap is content marketing, because content marketing helps you with SEO, and this is something which is great for preparing yourself for some kind of product launch, but this is something that is generally great for any kind of marketing activity. You can hire writers that can write about some topics, or you can do it yourself. For example, this is a graph database versus relational database tutorial, and this tutorial is really picked up great by Google. And also, if you want to check good organic results, always use Google Ads, ad preview and diagnosis tools. Don't use your own Google, because even if you are not sign up at your Google account, you will still get some personalized search results. So to have unified search result, use Google Ads, ad preview, and you can also select different territories and see how you are ranking. For example, for a keyword that is important to you, how you can rank in UK, Germany, France, Croatia, or US. You can check this out. So content marketing could be really expensive, but on the long run, it can help you build that audience, build that awareness. For the Mangrove example, which is a developer company which develops database solution, it is open source company, so they need to build that developer community. Developers are usually personas that like to educate themselves, like to learn and read. So for them, tactic of content marketing is really crucial to get in touch with them. So you can build a community, have a Discord server, have a webinar, organize webinars, live demos, and then write some articles. These are the tactics that can be used for developer company, for developer marketing. But if you're using, for instance, if you're having any kind of other thing, then you can use different channels, Instagram stories, TikTok videos, LinkedIn ads, but they're really expensive from my experience. And the last case is Based-On. Based-On was still is. Based-On is a software service company in construction industry, and as you can see, from December 2014 till October 2018, and then the company was sold. So this is a successful startup exit when the company is sold by or acquired by a larger industry company. There was a lot of awards. This was a focus, and also we have different tactics. So in that company, I was running the marketing and communications department. We had online activities. First, it was important to owning the search results, organic and paid, also owning the Apple search results and mobile app advertising, because the company released an iOS software, also being on social media. Offline activities, find collaborations with different brands, go and organize meetups, find good conferences, summits, and events. Media relations are also important here. The market was really big. So the construction industry in the UK is really big. There is 3 million jobs in construction industry, 10% of total UK employment. There are a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, a lot of jobs. So the market is big, and the focus was only on the UK market. Clients was big international construction companies like Costain. They help with the PR, they help with the branding, they help with the brand positioning. And what was great was that large companies, if you are doing some new software, if you are trying to find enterprise clients, in those large companies, you will find people like George who are project innovations coordinator. A lot of those companies have innovation managers. The sole purpose of those people is to scout the market for startups who are bringing new technology. So they implement the new technology in their projects because they want to be agile and they want to be modern, because the large companies sometimes go obsolete with everything. So this was a great support by the company. Who are the users of the software? Think about users. This is something that I wanted to show you, is that always think about the user, always think about the customer. For instance, here there is a Teslim who is working on Bakerloo Line Link project. He is about 20 years of age. He's a construction engineer. He lives in London. He's in a relationship, playing basketball. He has profiles on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And he said that it's a huge benefit of based on we have everything on one place. So how to find Teslim? How to find millions of Teslims who will say this tool can help me to work better and work faster. So Teslim has a Facebook, so you can reach out to him to Facebook ads and Facebook pixel retargeting. Teslim has Instagram. Great. You can run Facebook, Instagram campaign. Teslim is on YouTube. You can also drive YouTube advertising. As I said, a lot of construction engineers are also people who are interested in do-it-yourself stuff, in cars, construction, so you can find them. Teslim has a mobile phone, so you can have Apple search ads. And Teslim is also going to conferences, so you have presence on these kind of conferences. So the flow of Teslim, I would say the flow of every user is really simple. First, you are in awareness phase, where you can say, hey, I'm here. I think that what I have would be an interest for you. Then you educate them to say, what can you do? How is your solution better than any other? No, just educate. Then Teslim is going into consideration phase. He's thinking about you actively. He's thinking, well, maybe I should try it. How much does it cost? And then if he say, well, I'm considering to use your product, then you give him a demo. And from demo, he become a paid user. And then you can get a contract. This is a typical flow, I would say, for any business-to-business software service solution. But you are not targeting the company and decision makers in company. You are targeting the end users. And from the end users, you are raising awareness and go to the decision makers. Everything you do digital, you can do testing. So we did different landing pages for messaging testing. We also implemented chatbot on the website, which drive more conversions. Also, use Lean Startup methodology. If you didn't read the book, book is a couple of euros on Amazon. For instance, do we need the development of Android app? To develop something, it costs money, it costs time. So what we did was running campaign and see if our users even use Android. The result was that there is a lot of people on iOS devices, mainly iPads, so they didn't use Android. So it didn't develop, and we didn't spend money on the development on something that will a small portion of people use. Measure and analyze everything. This is just a glimpse of monster spreadsheets that we called and where we measure everything. Why? Because it's really important to have everything into context of numbers to see which tactic is better, is much more cost efficient than other. So the focus was cost per MQL. MQL is marketing qualified lead. For instance, in this kind of a time frame, we had 39 marketing qualified leads. 39 one marketing qualified lead cost 22 pounds. And this is the final number that was important for me as a head of marketing, is how much does it cost to bring someone that can convert maybe to a customer. Because from marketing qualified lead, there is a conversion to sales qualified lead. So where to start? There is, as I said, try small. I would say start from the user. Start from the user. Start from the person who is actively seeking your solution. That's why I really love search engine marketing, because you're answering to people's needs. You're not pushing them ads. This is an example of public speaking training. So people are trying to find public speaking training, and it's really easy to then control the search result. And what is better is psychology. As I said, marketing is also a lot of psychology. So it's really important to capture the attention of your potential customer in the right moment. The best moment is when he's actively searching for the solution for his problem. If I'm actively searching for public media training, public speaking or media training, then I'm already in the awareness phase. I'm already basically educated because I know I have a problem. So I'm in the consideration phase. I just looking who is offering what and for the what prices, and that's it. And you can easily convert that person. So as a tips and tricks, one thing, if you're doing something new and there's no community, then build your own community. For MemGraph, we started Graph Data Zagreb meetups. So we started a meetup for everyone who is interested in graph technology and well, basically who are using graphs in their work. And there is an investment in that. To organize a meetup, it can cost you, I don't know, 600, 700, 800 euros plus advertising, but you can build a community, which is great. But also we send a press release that we are organizing a first graph data meetup in Zagreb. So this is also newsworthy. If you're organizing a first, I don't know, meetup for people who are brushing cats, and you are reaching out to cat owners and inviting them to come to the meetup because you have a new brush for their cat, that's something that media will cover. They'll say, well, this is interesting, it's great, let's check out. So the meetups are great tactics to raise an awareness. And we secured different kind of media releases about the meetup. So for conclusion for this product launch and everything, first thing, think about the user. Who is that user and where he hangouts? That's why you can see me on the photo with my colleagues. We went to the construction site. Even we are marketing, but I wanted, I was going on a lot of sales meetings and a lot of construction sites just to learn about the customer. Who is that person? What are their interests? What they are doing, and how they are doing, and why they are doing, and talk to them, because you can learn a lot, and then pick the right tactics. Right tactics are mainly how much money do you have, what can you do. Don't overspread, don't go to the social media if you cannot handle the social media. Don't go to the Twitter if you are not committed to start the conversations, to join the conversations, to build a community. Don't go there. Don't go to the Facebook if you are not willing to post. Don't go to the Instagram. So I'm always giving advices to go smaller, use one social media, but then excel that social media. But use the social media not because everybody is using it. Use the social media where your users are. And remember from the second or third slide where your early adopter users are. The adopters, the people who are willing to try you. And then from then you can build your market, and focus on things that are not payable. Relationship with journalists, with media. Also focus on content marketing. If you have something to say, if you know something about the market because you are in there, then by all means use it, and also talk about it. So all those things can be used to reach out and to make that awareness. So these are my contacts. You can definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn or just with me. Also, what is great is that if you have a problem, we can arrange a one-on-one mentorship. So if you are launching something, if you are preparing something, just reach out and we can see, we can find out what is the best thing to do. I really hope this was useful, and yeah. So buy those books. Find examples, and don't be afraid to use a tactic from one industry and apply it to yours. So don't be afraid from that. So it will be well, you just try it. You cannot lose. Maybe you can lose some time and some portion of money, but the learning is I would say the learning is best outcome that you can have. So thank you.